Good morning everyone, it's Circus Stu here for another fun Circus at Home for Everyone session, and as we approach 11 o'clock we're going to have 1 minute silence to think of the healthcare workers and all those in the NHS and other workers who have looked after people with COVID-19 and have sadly lost their lives. So let's spend a minute just thinking about this. Okay, we finished our minute's silence, joining in with the whole UK there. So, what's the theme today? So, you've seen my friends helping out earlier, and they wanted, and they told you that we're going to build some towers today. So, in the world of circus, often we have to build temporary structures rather quickly and rapidly, and then be able to dismantle them. So making towers is a very useful skill in circus, so I thought I'd introduce you to that idea today. So say goodbye to the friends for the minute. Bye bye. Okay, put them down there. Okay, so what you'll need to find in your house are some something to make a tower with. So some of you might have some giant Jenga or normal sized Jenga blocks, or you might have some building bricks of some sort. Anything that you can stack up that's not going to cause any damage when it falls over. Okay, so you may want to pause the video for a second and go and get some stuff and then come back. Okay, so what I want you to have task is to get yourself 12 bits of wood, and then we're going to have a timed make a tower in a minute challenge. So of course, basic things for towers, like if you're in Jenga mode, then of course you can just simply make it like that, and you'll get a really strong tower. So let's see if you can see that a bit better. Let's move it to there. Okay, good. So simple structure, but it of course isn't particularly high, but it's very stable. Another way of making towers, of course, is to build them like this. So here we are making use of the longest length of the thing that we're making the tower with, in my case the Jenga, to make a really tall tower. So you can see here, there we are, I've done 3 pieces, but it wasn't very stable. Also made harder by doing it on carpet, which is an uneven surface. So you may want to have the challenge of doing it on carpet like I am, or you might want to do it on a hard surface like a table, or hard flooring if you've got hard flooring, or if you've got a whole bunch of things, you could always make a temporary platform just like that you could build on. So let's see if my temporary platform makes it a bit easier. not sure if it's easier. So whichever way you do it, you have to combine using that, having it that way up with that way, essentially. So let's have a go together. So set my watch to 1 minute, and I'm not gonna have this temporary platform. I'm just gonna use my 12 bricks here. So I'm gonna set my timer to be 1 minute, and you can do this along with me. Okay, so on your marks, get set, go. So build a stable base, and then build my first 2 things, I think. And I think I actually might make that a bit more stable than that. See, I'm changing my mind on my design already. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Be interested to see if your tower is much taller than mine already. So I'm going to go for 1 across there. 1, 2. Got 15 seconds left. 3, 10 seconds. Don't think I'm going to get any taller than that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stop your building. And did you get a tower taller than mine? That is a interesting question. I'll be interested to know how tall your tower is. So if I stand up, oh, my tower moved. Oh dear, it fell. This is the trouble when you're on carpet and you move slightly and you disrupt your tower. Okay, did you get a tower roughly that height? Was it a lot lower? Was it much taller? I'll be interested to know whether you got that way. Okay, so you can carry on experimenting with building towers like that throughout the day if you want. Always a good engineering challenge. In fact, in early days of circus, when animals were used a lot, quite often circus would move around on trains, and they would quite often have to unload heavy stuff from the carriages onto the platform that might be a different height or onto the ground beside the track, and they would have a whole series of planks of wood that they would use to make a temporary bridge, so they could unload things and then remove the bridge or the platform. So that was definitely a useful skill then to have, and it's useful today. So that's wooden things. Oh, by the way, I don't know if any of you listen to Radio York, but this morning I was on Radio York and I was teaching Georgie how to juggle scarves, which was quite fun because neither of us could see each other. But we managed to, well, I managed to get her to juggle her scarves that she'd brought in. Anyway, that's an aside. Right, for the next challenge, you're going to need 3 sheets of paper. So you can either use pieces of paper, A4 pieces of paper, or A3 if you want, or what I'm going to use is some newspaper. So I'm going to get 3 sheets of paper. And I think it's slightly more challenging with newspaper. I'm not sure to what we're going to do. Okay, so put spare paper out there. So I've got 3 sheets of paper, newspaper here. 1, 2, 3. And the task I'm going to set before us is to make a tall tower, the tallest possible, that can support a egg at the top. So where's my set of eggs? Oh, there they are. Here's an egg. So your tower needs to be able to hold an ordinary kitchen egg or something similar, if you don't want to use an egg, high up, okay? Best if your egg is hard boiled so that if you drop it, nothing happens. that's a fairly safe egg to use I got. Okay, so you're allowed 3 pieces of paper, you are allowed some scissors, and you're also allowed about 30 centimeters worth of sellotape. So that's basically a normal ruler worth of sellotape. So I'm going to cut this here. Okay, put that to one side. So I've got my sellotape, my short length of sellotape, my 3 sheets of paper, and I have to bear in mind that the structure has got to hold the egg at the top. Okay, so I'm going to give you, well, we're going to do this in about 5 minutes, so it's a sort of time limited puzzle, and I'll talk you through the approaches I'm going to use as we do it. So I'm gonna give us a time of, set my watch to 5 minutes. Whoops, let's just change that to 5 minutes. So if you haven't got your equipment yet, pause the video, go and get your stuff, unpause it, good, and we're ready. We're going to go 5 minutes. On your marks, get set, go. Okay, so first thing I want to make is a relatively stable base. You can roll up paper to make it stronger. I'm going to roll this one up, and we've got 3 pieces of paper, so we could have 3 pieces that, let me just quickly roll this, 3 pieces that come together like that, okay, to make our design. But I'm going to try and go next step further on that. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but so this should be fun. I'm going to try and make a nice wide space by having it like that. So, and in order to not use too much paper, sellotape, I think I'm going to use a little piece there. And remember, once your sellotape is finished, that's it, no more sellotape. So I've got one small piece there. I'm now going to fold this over. And the basic, I only thought of this particular design this morning. I thought, oh, that'll be fun to try. I haven't tried this out before. So there we are. So I've got sort of like a hat shape, and I want to make sure that it sits nicely. So one way of getting around our limitation of lack of sellotape is to actually fold the paper so it stays in place. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make this as flat as possible, so where it sits on the ground, it's relatively stable. Of course, you can if you're doing this design, you could try it yourself a different way. Okay, I've done that. I'm going to put that to one side. I'm now going to make a really tall section now. And I'm going to roll this up. There we are. Now I'm not sure how. Whoops, let's put that, bring back there. The idea is I'm going to try and put it on like that and see if that stays. So I'm going to use some sellotape again. Now I'm not totally convinced that this is going to work particularly well, but we shall see. So I use a little bit here to hold that into place, and I'm going to use another little piece of my not much sellotape to hold the other end together. So let's try out my initial thing and let's check the time. Oh, there's 1.5 minutes to go. So can you see there? I've just inserted it, and it is relatively stable. I'm just going to test this out for the minute. Oh, that's looking excellent already. Excellent, did you get that? Okay, so I've got 1 minute to go. And time to quickly roll up. My base was beginning to wobble a bit, so I'm going to quickly try to stabilise it, I think. I've made a roll there. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to sellotape those two pieces together. And I'm hoping that might help stabilise the thing. Oh, I'm nearly out of time, so I might do away with that. So let's have a go putting it back to there. And let's put my thing on. Right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so mine is, if I stand up carefully, it comes up to my my belly button. So I've made it sort of half my height. So that is one idea I had, and that worked quite well. In the end, if you notice, I ran out of time for stabilising my base. Never mind. But my basic attempt of creating a funneled support with a wider base there, and then a long tube that fitted nicely over there, worked actually quite well. I think if I was having another go, I might make that even wider, and then instead of having a base, I could then have used this to extend it even further. And look folks, I was actually really good, and I still had that amount of sellotape left. So I'm very impressed that I managed to do that. So I had time, well, I had more resources left to do something even better. So I'd love to see pictures of your towers, and especially if you've gone for you know, a completely different design of your own. Yeah, send me a picture. I'd love to see your towers and how they worked out. So that's our circus activity for today. We didn't actually do any warm up, did we? So if you want to have a run around the room now and get warm, then feel free to do that. And tomorrow, who knows what we're going to be doing, but hopefully you've enjoyed today's session. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.